Hi friends, welcome to Essential Oils for Winter Wellness. I'm holding a warm cup of tea and I invite you as well to get a warm beverage by your side. And so this evening we'll learn about what's an essential oil, where do they come from, what do they do, why do we humans use them, what benefit do we get from them, and then our main focus really is which oils to use and how to really thrive during these winter months that are cold, there's less sunshine, and so forth. So what's an essential oil? It's an aromatic compound that is naturally occurring from plants. They're super special and rare, right? So only about 10% of the world's plants produce essential oils. They come from all different parts of the plant. So they can come from petals, stems, leaves, roots, twigs. They can come from the bark of trees. It's basically the immune system or the defense system of the plant against against the natural environmental threats that the plant might have to face against. And question is, why would it even do anything for us? A cell, a human cell and a plant cell are so similar in structure, like 99% similar. So we're super similar in our DNA. And so what they do for the plants, they can actually also do for the humans, and we can get those benefits as well. Two different ways that we extract the essential oil from the plant material. One is through steam distillation, so that's gathering all your plant material, and we're talking about like hundreds of pounds or thousands of pounds, and putting it in a vessel, heating that vessel, which produces a steam. So think of steaming your face, right? Your pores are expressed, they're opened up. So the essential oil is contained within a sac in the plant, because the essential oil nature, think of it, it evaporates, it goes up, right? It's not heavy, it's not earthbound. So it's contained in a sac until the plant needs to use it, to express it. So the heat through steam distillation expresses that sac. So along with the steam, within that steam actually, the essential oil is released. It travels through a tube, and then the steam turns into water and is collected in one vessel, and the essential oil separates because water and oil don't mix, and it's collected in another vessel. The second way we can extract essential oils, and we use this for citrus oils, so lemon, orange, grapefruit, bergamot. Recently I fell in love with kumquat essential oil. It's gorgeous. Mandarin, tangerine, so many others. The whole fruit is actually kept intact, and it's cleaned, and then it's pressed. So if you think of drinking an espresso and you twist that lemon peel, that super strong aroma comes into your nostrils, right? You breathe it in, and it's even stronger than if you were to squeeze the flesh or the pulp of the fruits, right? So the essential oil is actually found within the peel of the fruit. So the fruits are kept intact, they're whole, they're washed, and then they're pressed, and that essential oil is expressed and it's collected. And so there's no citric acid in citrus essential oils. Okay? What are the ways we can use them, right? So there's 3 different ways we can use essential oils. The first and the most powerful way is aromatically. So I have by me, if I could pass sense through the screen, I would love to do that for you, a diffuser. It's a cold water diffuser, so it's not heating up the water, there's no fire, it's not dangerous, it's cold tap water. I put a few drops of the oils I want, and it creates this mist, and the essential oil is broken down, it's in the air, and like this is actually can affect a large space. Also for about every hour or so that it's diffusing, it's going to be in the air for about 4 times that amount. So it's very powerful. When we breathe something in, it's going into our respiratory system. From there, it's entering our blood vessels as well. So it's going into our circulatory system. Also, scent reaches our emotional brain, right? Because the area that we're smelling from is very connected with the emotional brain, and also where we store our memories. This is why, a great scent can bring you to this amazing place, and other scents you can be like totally turned off by. So scent is the strongest way to breathe it in. Another way to smell it is really just to take a drop dab your hands, and really, I didn't even use a drop. I dabbed, rub them together so you create a little heat. We want heat to express it. Right, and then I ideally would take really 2 to 3 minutes worth of deep breathing to have an effect on my system, to have physically it's going to be within my bloodstream within a minute or so, but to have an emotional effect, an effect to my mood and support me in that way, I really want to take about 2 to 3 minutes worth of deep breathing to get it. Another way we'll use oils is topically. So that can be taking a drop or two of oils, diluting them in a carrier oil, and applying them either to a body part that you want to use as, you're applying it because you want it to be like a perfume, or perhaps you're dealing with a skin issue, so you're applying topically for that reason. Or you can also be using it topically for systemic effects, so on this bottom of our feet and the palms of our hands, if you're familiar with reflexology, is really a map of the body, also in our ears. So diluting a drop or two of essential oil and applying to the bottom of your feet is going to send it throughout the entire body. And the oils have intelligence and the bodies have their natural intelligence, so they know where to go and what to do. And then the third way of using essential oils is internally. So not all oils can be used internally. And also it's very important when using internally, really when using essential oils at all, it's really important that you know the quality that you're getting, because they go really deep into our systems. So we want to know what we're using. Using internally, you want to have a reason, you want to understand, so forth. It's a little bit of a controversial subject. There's different camps, so you can do the research and find your own stance on that for sure. Taking internally is really if you're focusing on having digestive effects, anything with the digestive system, major organ systems of the body, and also for flavoring for food. Remember, within, let's say, here's my little bottle of lavender, it's about 15 ml, so it's about a tablespoon's worth of essential oil. There's 35 pounds of plant material that went into this little bottle. So that's super concentrated, and that's a lot of substance, that's a lot of power. So a little goes a very long way. What we want to know also is that essential oils, once they're in our bodies, so sometimes someone can say, I'm just breathing it in, like, why does quality matter? Quality matters because actually breathing it in, as we just learned, like, it goes everywhere in the body. Essential oils, because of their small molecular structure, they're teeny tiny, and also because they're lipophilic, they're attracted, they're drawn to fat, right? So essential oil is an oil, it's drawn to more oils, it's repelled by water. Our cell, the cell membrane that protects the cell, is really made up of fat. So essential oils actually bypass cell membranes. And just to give you a few facts for context, not for politics, because that's not what this is about at all, but just so we know, in Western medicine, which is, thank God, it's wonderful, it's great that we have those options, 94, 96 something % plus of Western medicine actually doesn't bypass cell membrane. So it's really symptomatic focused. It's talking about what are the symptoms that can be relieved, rather than like what is the issue that can be transformed. Right, so essential oils actually go to the root of the cell. They go into the cell membrane and can really work with transforming the cells, and either supporting cells to heal, if there's a bacteria or whatever it is, or something going on, get healthy, or if a cell can't get healthy, like to stop reproducing more cells. It's not really reproducing, but anyways, whole other story there. So what this kind of alerts us to is that quality really matters, right? Because it gets deep into our bodies. 60% of what we put on us goes in us, and essential oils go super deep in us. So what we want to understand is that up until now, there's no standardized rules or acceptable standards for quality in terms of the essential oil industry. So you can get a bottle of lavender that says 100% pure lavender from your health food store, your drug food store. They're selling them everywhere nowadays, and you don't know what that means. 100% pure means how many drops are there that are truly lavender? Is it one drop? Is it all drops? Is there anything synthetic? We don't know, and legally we don't need to know at this point. So you want to know who you're buying from, the company, and what their standards are, to hold them accountable, because there's no one organization yet holding everyone accountable. So you want to know who you're buying from, right? I work exclusively with doTERRA. I use their oils exclusively because I know that they're certified pure therapeutic grade. So that just means they have a certain standard, and every oil that I get on the bottom is a batch number. I can take that batch number, type it into a specific website, and get test results. Their oils are tested like up to 11 times from soil to bottle. They're testing for purity so that we know there's no metals, there's no pesticides, there's no junk in the soil where the plant materials, where the plants are being grown. And they're also tested for potency. So that means that the oil is going to do what it's meant to do, right? Like a lavender that's coming from Bulgaria, where we source ours, is going to be a certain grade of lavender. Lavender that might be coming from, you know, with all due respect, maybe I don't know, it's neutral, can we say New Jersey? New Jersey lavender is probably not going to be Bulgarian lavender, and that's just like, we just all can admit it, right? So doTERRA does not buy farmlands around the world. They work with indigenous farmers. They're working with over 45 countries right now, farmers in over 45 countries, indigenous farmers. They fair contract with them, and they're held to certain standards. So the plants are being grown where they are natively intended to be grown, so they're getting the right ingredients, they're getting the right amount of sunshine, the right amount of rainfall, the right climate, everything, for that to be the most potent essential oil producing plant possible. It's also wonderful because over half of the countries, that they're working with, they're not working with the countries themselves, though in some cases yes, but half of the countries, the farmers that come from these countries, these countries are a third world, super poor. So they're really supporting with fair trade contracts and multi-year contracts these indigenous farmers, cutting out the middleman who usually used to steal from the farmers, who are doing all the work. Fair trade contracts really to support building up the global economy and to support people like building up their economies with dignity and doing these gifts that they've had in their families, using the wisdom that they've had in their families for generations. They also are huge supporters. They do a lot of philanthropic work in the world, especially with a focus on children and women, especially in the sex trade industry. Like, they're doing tons of things to support better conditions in this world for children and women in particular. And if you want to learn more about that, I can send you all kinds of different links. So it's really, I feel really good knowing that working with them, I'm really helping to support the kind of healing and corrections that need to go on in this world for us to live in the place that we really dream to live in. Okay, now let's get back to business. So, essential oils. For winter, usually when I ask people, like, what are you looking for from your oil for winter? What are your greatest concerns in winter? Everyone can have their own concerns. One thing I want to say is this video is not intended to, I'm not diagnosing or telling you what to use instead of medicine or telling you what's going to cure you. Like, if you're on any medicine and you want to use essential oils, best to talk to your naturopath. If you're looking to replace something you're using, let's say over the counter with essential oils, really best to do that with guidance. And this is really just to share some information to begin the conversation. And you should really get medical guidance on any issues that you're working with. So usually when people think of winter, what I hear from them, greatest concerns like colds, like germs going around, and either it's, I come from the city, so I think of public transportation, which is kind of gross all year round, but in winter, like suddenly there's a lot of fluids that are added to the mix, like the coughing and the nose running, and it's like people's hands, and then they go here, and it's so nasty. And that spreads. It's airborne, and sometimes it's through touching kids in school. Things are spreading. So what's one way we can support the immune system, support your own immune system, first to maybe not catch it, like to catch the cold that's going around, or the flu, or the this or the that, and then also to support your immune system if you are fighting off something, to like cleanse that process and speed it up a little bit. So doTERRA has this gorgeous blend called On Guard, and it's the immune boosting blend. in this blend, I'll tell you what you got. You've got cinnamon. Scientific research is showing that there's not one bacteria, virus, or infection that can stand in the face of true cinnamon essential oil, which is pretty powerful. There's clove in this blend. Clove is the #1 antioxidant found in nature. So the amount of antioxidants you're going to get from 1 ounce of clove compared to, let's say, carrots, you need 400 pounds of carrots to get the same amount of antioxidants you get in 1 ounce of cloves. Super powerful. You also have here Melaleuca, which is just the Latin name for tea tree. Tea tree is #1 antifungal. And then you have rosemary, which also supports and boosts brain function, in addition to it being antibacterial. And then you also have wild orange, and wild orange is great for digestion. And like most citruses, or all citruses really, there's antidepressant factors. Like the citruses are uplifting, so they help us to kind of get out of that funk that we might be in. So this blend is super helpful for boosting immunity. And this is if something's going around and you want to prevent it. Most powerful way, get a few drops going in your diffuser. One thing I do want to say is these diffusers, well, they are plastic, and we really got to work to change that, and I am trying to. They are BPA free, so the essential oils aren't going to have an effect. There's no plastic that's being drawn out going into the air that we breathe in. You should know that. So most powerful way, get a few drops going in your diffuser, right? Not only are you going to breathe it in, and we just learned that's the most powerful way to use it, but you're also going to be having an effect on your entire environment. So anyone in the area where the diffuser is going to get those benefits as well. And also the mood effects, you know, so let's say you can think of this oil, I mean, there's a citrus in it, which is uplifting. It's very warming and comforting. If there are people that maybe are kind of crabby or so, this can be nice to get it in the diffuser while they're around. Another way to use, I do sometimes take this internally. So let's say if I know, like, let's say a strong bug is going around, I really just want to protect myself. I'll take this internally, usually, let's say 4 times throughout the day, for maybe 5 or so days, just to like give myself a really big boost. And I add to it usually a drop of oregano, which I'll go to next, which is highly antiviral. Oregano is super strong. So really your bottle, I've had a bottle for over a year because I don't need it so often because it's so powerful. So I usually will take that internally, either in a teaspoon of oil, or so forth, can dilute, rub on the bottoms of your feet. Another thing is, On Guard has been proven to kill about 99% of germs, and that can be up to a week. So what I started doing is really getting into essential oils as a lifestyle approach. So instead of, let's say, all the toxic chemicals that are available on the market to bring in and clean, you know, which is really dangerous because we're breathing them in, and then the toxins get stored in our fat cells, and who really wants that? So I started playing around with making some of my own cleaning products. So I have a nice spray, and it's just like a germ killer spray, and I'll have it spraying on my countertop, and I feel great because I'm not spraying bleach or these other things, you know, like near my food. And also there's just this divine smell when I spray, so it's super uplifting as well. So this is a great way that you can really clean your home, especially in the cold and flu season, without contributing to like the super bug or killing the good bacteria with the bad, which is like what the hand sanitizers and things do. You can make your own hand sanitizer also with this. Any of these recipes, hit me up and I'll send you links for them. So I have a home cleaner that I'll spray on my countertops, especially if there's a lot of people coming in and out. I'll spray the doorknobs, use in the bathroom as well. On Guard, gorgeous blend. Oregano, I said, is #1 for antiviral. It's super strong. It really, a little goes a very long way. When I use this, I'm using it for very specific purposes. Again, to boost my system if there's a strong bug going around. I'll sometimes add it to food, but literally 1 drop is like it. This is one that's really hot, so anytime we're using it topically, we want to highly, highly, highly dilute it. let's move to frankincense. So frankincense comes, actually, we source ours from Somalia. There's a frankincense tree, and you just want to think Somalia, like the weather can be 130 degrees Fahrenheit on a regular day, super hot, super dry. Trees that are growing there have to be so resilient, right? So this oil is coming from that source. Super powerful. Like about 2,000 years ago, in this region of the world, in the Middle East, there was a frankincense trail that went from the Far East through Africa and up through the Middle East. And frankincense had a value that was higher than gold at that time. So in many ancient civilizations, I mean, there's connections with essential oils, with, you know, the nature and plant life and so forth. And frankincense is in many different civilizations. It's used in religious situations as well. It's an oil that its emotional factors are really kind of the feelings of protection and so forth, which, you know, sometimes for some people in winter, it can feel like a little, down, or it's dark, or wherever you go. So this is a beautiful oil to get grounded, right? It comes from a tree, so we think trees are really grounded, and to feel protected. So sometimes I'll use it in the evening, or even just like yoga, or just for chilling out. You're at home, you want to relax. Frankincense is the #1 cellular renewal. So anything that's going on, if there's anything kind of chronic that's going on, it's something to look into. If there's anything, just the autoimmunity, you know, this is an oil that you want to explore for that. It really just supports cellular health and cellular renewal. It's topically as well, incredible for the skin, for scarring and healing and so forth. It also, its personality is kind of like the cheerleader, because it makes every oil you use it with stronger. So let's say I really want to get my On Guard going, I might add a drop of frankincense in my diffuser as well to get it that extra boost. Let's say we're going to talk about getting healthy sleep, right? Because the winter is a time, like, I don't know about you, but in the summer I can sleep kind of minimal, and I'm like up with the sun, or maybe a little after the sun, and I'm ready to go, even if I didn't sleep as much as I wanted to. In the winter, suddenly I'm like, I feel like I need 9 hours of sleep, and I wake up and I can't jump out of bed like I do in the summer. I'm like totally affected by the winter, you know, sunshine and so forth. So I really, when I start getting cozy and start exploiting like the great benefit of good sleep in the winter, because sleep is so healing for the body. It's a time when like your body's functions, you can, you know, cleanse and just really restore. So I love lavender. Lavender is very calming and has sedative-like properties. It calms the nervous system. So this is one I love to get in the diffuser, or I'll dilute and rub on the bottoms of my feet, or even just like, you can use it for a massage. Again, you want to dilute because there's so much potency here. 1 or 2 drops is great. I can add it also a drop or 2 each, frankincense and lavender in the diffuser. Get it going in the bedroom to really support a warm, cozy environment. And get that going like half an hour before I want to be in bed or so, to really support me to get in that zone already. Lavender is also antihistamine. It's calming, so it's antispasmodic. So if you're feeling nervous, or if you're feeling anxiety, you know, this is a great one to breathe in, put a drop on your hand, rub together, take your deep breaths, tell yourself some good affirmations. Emotionally, lavender, is the oil of honest communication. So that can be how you speak to yourself. It can also be how you relate with others verbally. So that's a great one to use, really to begin to tell yourself the positives in your life and how you want things to be. And also what you need, you know, to connect with yourself in that way. So that's a gorgeous blend. Lavender and frankincense I love for sleep, especially that good winter sleep. It like gets me ready, you know, really early to be in bed. Another blend I do use usually for my nighttime ritual is Aroma Touch. It's a massage blend. One of the main ingredients is cypress, and cypress is incredible for circulation. So for me, I can get cold hands and feet in the winter, so I will dilute the Aromatouch or cypress by itself, and I'll rub it on my feet and then put my feet in my socks. And I totally found that that's kept my feet much warmer than they would normally want to be. And it makes me super cozy and ready for a great night's sleep. So moving to the next stage of a healthy sleep cycle, the waking part, for me, again, in the morning, like I need more support getting up and getting focused and motivated and energized in the winter. So one blend I use is Breathe, and it's doTERRA's respiratory blend. It's a really gorgeous blend. One of the main ingredients is peppermint. Peppermint is an awakening oil, so it's an awesome oil to explore. Let's say either if you're looking for an alternative to coffee and you want to stay awake, it's the middle of the day and you're kind of feeling like a slump but you can't take a nap, or if you need to drive long distance, it's a great oil to waken you up. And it's also buoyant, and it's like a light-hearted oil. Also, you have Ravensara, you have lemon, tea tree, cardamom. There is eucalyptus in here as well. So those oils, in the winter especially, if there's any congestion or difficulty breathing, the On Guard, of course, for our immune system. Breathe is gorgeous for the respiratory system, just to breathe easier. So I'll get this going in the morning. I love it. I'll accent it with maybe a little bit of peppermint and lemon. In addition, lemon's uplifting. It's an awakening oil. It's an oil of focus, so it helps me kind of, get in that zone. It's a citrus oil, and citrus oils all have uplifting antidepressant qualities to them. Another thing is lemon breaks down petrochemicals that are in the air. So that's, especially for any of us, I live in a city here, so just from the car traffic, the pollutants, the plastics, the petrol in the air. So this lemon, or Breathe, this blend which has lemon in it, can really support cleansing the air. What we want to pay attention to then is that if we take oils internally, and not this one because it's not for internal use, but let's say lemon, you want to add it to your water, you're only going to add it to a glass vessel or a stainless steel vessel, right? Because we said it breaks down the plastics, it breaks down chemicals, so we don't want to then put that in our body. Though if we're putting a drop or so in a glass cup, it can help to cleanse our body and support a detox process, support lymphatic cleansing and drainage and so forth. Okay, so Breathe is one that I love. If I'm ever feeling congested, but especially also in the daytime. Also, the lungs are around the heart system. So any of you that are into yoga and you're thinking of the chakras, the heart chakra, right? The lungs are associated with that area. They're an organ of the heart chakra center. And that's an area, of course, it's about giving and receiving. It's about love. But, it can also be about the shadow emotions of grief and sorrow. And that can be stored here. So Breathe is a beautiful blend that can also help to release some of those emotions of grief. If there's any of that repressed there, this can actually help to alleviate that and support that being expressed and kind of moving through the body. Another oil that I'll speak of, maybe the last one, that also has peppermint in it, because another thing about peppermint, in addition to it being awakening, it's an excellent oil for digestion. It's an excellent oil for cooling, so this is great for fevers. I wouldn't use it on young kids. I'd explore, say lemon and lavender instead, but peppermint is great for cooling. So whether that's fevers, whether that's menopause, whether that's just being overheated, sunburns aren't really a winter reality, unless maybe South America. Is that true? So using peppermint for cooling is excellent. It's also in Digestin, which is this digestive blend. You also have here fennel, there's ginger. So any digestive issues, whether it's gas or constipation, diarrhea, bloating, things like that, this is a wonderful oil that can be used either internally or diluting and then rubbing clockwise on the belly. And really think the stomach starts up, it sits up in the rib cage under the diaphragm, so really getting high up in there. I also use it, let's say, kind of preventatively if I know I'm going to be eating a little bit out of my normal, you know, I'm going to be having a big meal, or I'm going to be eating like lots of courses, or a little bit away from my regular routine. I'll actually take this kind of preventatively. And also, we want to remember that 80% of the digestive system, the immune system, is found in our digestive system, in our stomach. So if you're going through a cold or whatever it is, or you're just not feeling 100%, you want to include the digestive system in that, because that's where your immunity is really found. So this is one that I use pretty much daily, and what I'll do is I'll take a dab, and then I run down the center of my tongue, because the center of the tongue also ayurvedically, similar to the hands and the feet, has a map of the body. And so I do that pretty much daily. It helped me with sinusitis and all sorts of things like this, but this is one that really wonderful for digestion, but also for immunity. Okay, so we touched on a lot of different aspects of essential oil use and how to use them for winter. There's so much more to talk about, and if I could share it all with you now, I would, but it would really be too overwhelming for everyone. So one thing is to really think about what you would want to use essential oils for, like write it down, focus on it. Did something I spoke about tonight speak to that cause? You know, reach out to me if there's something that you feel like you need to learn more about. Another thing is nearly all of these oils that I mentioned that we learned about this evening come in an enrollment kit with doTERRA. It's a gorgeous kit that includes also this filter, this petal diffuser, and it's more than wholesale, so it's over 25% off. And this is a great way to really bring essential oils into your home and to begin to start using them and exploring them. You get information, you get pamphlets with it, and then we also speak either on the phone, Skype, in person or so, and really begin to develop kind of like a calendar, daily routine of different ways you can use your oil so that you feel comfortable using them for your specific goals and focuses, and that you can really begin to enjoy the benefits. You know, some people want to use them really just to lift the mood and use them aromatically. Others are really interested in beginning to use them for lifestyle. You figure out what you want. And so this is a gorgeous kit. It's the Home Essentials kit. It's huge savings, and with this kit you get these 10 essential oils. So some we didn't speak about, most we did. This gorgeous petal, over 25% off, and it's a beautiful way to begin to really get familiar with these essential oils and benefit from them in all different ways. So if that's something that's speaking to you, please reach out to me. If you have any questions, or if you have any topics you want to explore